So, um, before we get started, I'm gonna clap so I cue my audio. All right. There you go.
I should not have.
It's okay. Now we have two claps. We're gonna be really on.
Double track.
This is about as quiet as it ever gets in here.
Yeah, this is haunting with like the quietness. Glass blowing is mostly about airflow.
I hear something kind of far off in the background.
Yeah, there's one last fan on way up top that is tied in with my lights, so I couldn't turn that off.
That's all right. You don't have to turn it off.
And we'll have to keep moving because it's all motion censored. So.
Oh, okay. So if the lights go out, that's what's going on. I also just want to say that Fresca, I was just telling you before we started here, reminds me of the 8th grade.
Yeah.
7th, 8th grade, where I'd stay up all night long. We used to watch Up All Night on USA. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with those crazy B movies?
No.
Okay.
My mom just loved Fresca. And I'm bringing it back.
Right on. Well, it reminds me of my youth. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so here we are in the Houston House of Glass, right? That's what's... And I didn't even know that this was your operation until now.
Yeah, in the Texas glassblowing studio scene, there's not a lot of big cities with big public access studios where a glass artist could rent time. So I felt like, in a way, my hand was a little bit forced and I had to start my own space.
Okay, that's cool. I think that's how a lot of entrepreneurs get going, right? Mm-hmm. You're stuck. You have to solve a problem that you have for yourself, and then that ends up helping out other people.
Yeah,
right?
And it can, and there's opportunity to. It could just be Eric DePan's glass studio, but I chose to make it the Houston House of Glass.
Yeah.
And I have people who do stuff that they're better at their version of glass here than I am at glass because I've allowed access and profited it because we do classes and people get involved and don't come back, but there have been a few people who have come back and started their emerging careers in glass through the studio.
That's cool. So let's talk about that a little bit. The Houston House of Glass, this is your operation. This is where you create all your products.
Correct.
I know you from the First Saturday Arts Market, but also just from all the festivals. I've seen you at Bayou City, the Woodlands Waterway. I've seen you at a bunch of different markets here and there. Mm-hmm. I know you're out and about, and you're a hot thing on the art scene. Your booth's always full.
I like to talk about it.
Yeah, well, we're talking about it now, right? We're going to.
Yeah.
But so this is your space, and this is where you create all of your work then?
Correct.
Okay.
I have one mentor who I used to access his studio to produce small batch orders. Mm-hmm. But for the last 4 years, I've had to produce my glass blowing out of here. I still access his studio a little bit for one sculptural motif that I'm working on.
Okay.
That's not glass blowing, it's glass fusing. And we can talk about that later. But otherwise, I do. This studio provides my furnace, my reheat chamber, my kilns, my storage and my grinding stuff, documentation over in the other corner. And it's my full little temple of glass that supports the whole effort of making it to meeting you guys on the weekends, selling it, meeting customers here. I do an open house once a month.
I know, it's called, don't tell me, hot glass, cold beer. Yes. I like it. I like the idea.
Which I didn't come up with. It's definitely a regular event in every glass studio up north and the bigger cities up north that have more public access shops. It's like our regular theme is we provide a cooler of beer and then glass blowing demonstrations. So cool. We'll be making, for whatever duration of time, we'll be pulling cane, we'll be blowing bubbles into cups and doing every once in a while a larger format piece. For my customer base that I meet at these places, and some of them know about glass blowing and can tell that I make it all. Some people need convincing on the detail work that I obsess over,
Yeah.
they can come and watch me obsess over it here live and make some of the pattern, which has been proof of concept and a really good way to become part of the community officially.
Yeah, don't you think, I feel like when it comes to glass blowing, seeing it being made is a whole different thing than just seeing the finished product, because it's not what I would expect, is how I can explain it. When you see someone blowing glass, you're like, whoa, what are they doing? It's kind of magic to me. This episode is brought to you by Bridge the Gaps. Every young person deserves the chance to succeed. Bridge the Gaps empowers at-risk youth and their families through education, life skills, financial readiness, and one-on-one mentorship, helping young people overcome obstacles and build brighter futures. You can be a part of that impact. Visit bridgethegaps.org/donate to make a donation, volunteer, or learn how you or your company can partner with Bridge the Gaps. Together, brighter futures can be built for Houston's youth. Now back to the show. And because I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff, I'm guessing probably a lot of viewers would be idiots about this too. So explain to us, what is actually going on? What is glass? What are you doing? It's got to be hot. I know.
Sure.
What is it at its root? What is glass at its root?
So, like, at its root, it's a lot like ceramics, and nobody is an idiot coming out of Texas and not knowing about glass. It's just the happenstance of that there's no colleges, there's no studios, there's no classes to take. So the closest thing you can do is watch the Netflix special,
right.
Blown Away. And I appreciate that special a lot because it's informed people in Texas, where I'm from, and I want to sell my glass here. It's really helped them communicate to them what I do. And what I'm doing is, it's a lot like ceramics, and my background is actually in ceramics, and I segued into glass because my personality needed a few more things. And at its root, glass blowing is, it brings in a certain theme of people. Like if you go to the glass blower conference, you're going to see a lot of Erics walking around. I am very much like the theme of the glass blowing thing, and it's that we're taking molten clear glass out of one unit, reheating it in this secondary unit a number of times, meaning we'll take the clear glass out, we'll add colorant in a variety of ways at the workstation and within the reheat chamber. And then over a series of, some units take like 5 to 10 minutes to make, some pieces take hours to make. And within the opportunity of that time, you alter the piece into, some people can make sculpture, make a cow with bull horns on it. Some people can make an octopus, and I'm actually hoping to get into more animal sculpture. Cool. I do traditional vessel work. I make cups. I have a line of barware, and that goes up into bowls and vases. Some of which get functionless, meaning we just close them off to a tight little opening because they get so pattern centric, and that's in any of the opportunity within elongating the process and embellishing the process with more pattern or more color with molten material. So you're using heat and color to make traditional vessels, and that's my game. I use Italian and European stylings of technique at the bench and with my team to make vases and bowls and make the most beautiful Texas-made ornate decorative ware, which I also hope to do and specialize in, but I hope to do that in order to get into sculpture and more advanced kind of fine art kind of work. So it's not ever, I don't ever want it to be limited to just one thing and one series of moves. I want this to be a big opportunity for me to come up with whatever I'm going to make with my opportunity of having a glass studio. So for 2 to 3 years, I've been making whiskey cups and cocktail glasses and beautiful vases. I plan to make a series of blimps next year.
Blimps.
I make cactuses, cactus sculptures. I make
pumpkins. I remember seeing the pumpkins.
Seasonal pumpkins, and those are the intro to sculpture. If you wanted to get into glass, and you're maybe not as interested in making vases and beautiful bowls, and you want to make sculpture, your class would be flowers and pumpkins and sculptural motif in the material that lets you segue towards maybe animal sculpture or really beautiful pumpkins.
On the pumpkins, when you watch because I've watched your Instagram where you have the videos of you making it, there seems to be a lot of finesse involved in getting that little stem twist at the end, right?
Yes.
A lot of practice in that.
There's a lot of timing and heat management and finesse is a good word for it. I kind of call it the sweet spot in glass making, where you do it one way and there's ways to do it in either direction, either too cold or too hot. The setup was just not right. It's kind of a Goldilocks scenario of everything has to be just right in the sweet spot, and there's usually a way to over or underdo it in your setup. The pumpkin stem is kind of all about setup, your heat, your color distribution, and how you can twist it up and loop it over. And
you almost need to be on a step stool, right? I see you do that
I
with
have
your team.
a special station just for pumpkins, so I'm not with my shoulder too high for the repetitions of a full day's work. Working with any stress, even in the positioning of how we're stretching that glass out. Everything has its sweet spot, even the station.
Right.
It's kind of neurotic, and it can always be improved on. Then you get your sweet spot, though, and you figure out how to produce a lot of pumpkins in one day without hurting yourself or your equipment.
Well, I noticed that a lot of your videos involve teamwork. So you have a team that helps you produce stuff?
Yes, I only have almost one single item that is solo made. Even preparing my material, I have an assistant in the room helping me stretch the cane out. Glass blowing, and it's also I remember coming from ceramics, and that's a really one-on-one with yourself production. You can delegate out and economize your production, but glass blowing is almost you're almost very dependent on your glass assistant.
Okay.
And then the more glass assistants you have in the room, the cooler stuff you can make. My cactus sculptures require 3 assistants.
Really?
So it's a team of 4 that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it pardon me for asking this, because I don't know. Does the glass have to be hot the whole time that you're doing stuff with it? I know when you're molding or bending it in any way, it has to be hot, right?
It's got to start hot, meaning it's coming out of the furnace at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you kind of are bouncing and reheating it throughout the 35 to 50 minute window of time that you're blowing it and stretching it. And you're kind of dancing this sequence of reheating it sometimes 40 times.
40 times?
In one piece.
Wow.
And that amount of fluctuation between it being kind of set up as a solid, meaning 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and fluctuating, but parts of it, if you want a piece taller, but you only want this part of it taller, you'll heat that section of it and then stretch that out. And that may take setting the heat up 3 different sequences to then get that part to stretch out just how you want it, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. How long does it take for the furnace to change temperatures? If it's at 2,000, you need to bring it down 1,000 degrees. I mean, that's a lot of degrees.
The piece is dropping temperature out in the freestanding environment.
Oh, okay, I
So
got you.
the furnace turns on 30 minutes before I start, and it goes from this bone cold to 2,000 degrees in 30 minutes.
Yeesh.
And then the whole room is cooking.
And it's off propane? Or?
This is natural gas.
Natural
you can't
gas.
do propane.
Okay.
And then you use that 2,000 degrees to fluctuate your temperature. But basically, my bench is set up right here, and the piece is just spinning in freestanding air. The fan is even on, and it is cooling down at the workstation. And we'll stop reheating it to let it ebb down to 1,000 degrees.
Okay.
And when it's all trusting, we trust that it's all at 1,000 degrees, I'll break it off and put it into a kiln behind me, and that kiln is at 900 degrees.
Okay.
And so we work it at 2000, we work it at like 1400 degrees. I finish it and we let it cool down in the freestanding air to 1000 degrees, and then I put it into a 900 degree kiln to let it all cool down overnight.
I see.
And the next morning I can take out maybe 5 to 10 pieces or 20 pumpkins or whatever we made the previous day has overnight 12 to 14 hours cooled down really slow.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so how long can it be out in the freestanding air to get to that 1400 degrees? How long does that take? I guess you know based on the size and practice.
Every piece is different. The
Yeah.
thickness of it, the coloration of it, the way
Okay.
a white shirt and a black shirt heat up in the sun on a sunny day is a direct metaphor to how my colors are
Okay.
fighting each other sometimes and how they've taken heat, how they've cooled down.
Yeah.
And so it all chalks up to experience of
Right.
the team, the guy leading the team, and me slowly taking the piece in and out of the chamber. During the piece, when I want to get it really hot, I'll be in that chamber for like 20 seconds, heating it all up. When I want it cooling down, I'll take quick flashes on it, meaning I go in and I quickly flash it for less than 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then I come out, but we're letting the whole piece homogenize in temperature and cool down to like an even temperature, and I do that by going in and out really briefly.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah,
very
for
well.
sure. Basically, it seems like it's a real skill, something you learn just from doing it over and over again, and being here, working, right? You have a knack for it.
Yeah,
know
and
what's
you
going
can
on.
lose it. I've seen
Yeah.
people who used to be famous glass artists who segued into another career, and then they kind of moonlight back into it, and you're like watching them relearn some of the basics.
Yeah.
And it's all about how many cups you've made in the last 3 months.
Right. So you stay busy then. You don't take long periods of time off. I
Mm.
mean, I know you. So I should say we are in your studio. It's June when we're filming this, so it's hot.
Super hot.
And that's why we're sweating a little
My
bit. But that's
equipment
cool.
is off.
Yeah, everything is off. So it's actually pretty pleasant, but it's Houston, so it's hot. But I'm assuming you shut down for the summer, or at least you have a limited hours in the summertime.
Yeah, I shut all the equipment down in the summer.
Okay.
And I have like 2 other glass sculpting and embellishing projects that I have to attend to. Like my creative curriculum is also fusing these quilt sculptures in a kiln
yeah.
and then grinding patterns into the surface.
Okay.
That's the work that I supply to galleries nationwide.
Is that like this stuff over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like
we'll
that.
show pictures. Yeah.
Cool. And I've got this quilt motif and then these carved surfaces motif that I supply to the Eric DePan national brand within the glass art curriculum. And then for the Texas collector group, I'm the Houston House of Glass. And I'm supplying barware and cups and vessel production and trying to feed multiple fires. But
Gotcha.
the Texas crowd kind of likes my vessel game, and the galleries like my batutoed carved work and my quilt fusing sculptures.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to keep diversely creative
Yeah.
with the opportunity of my shop.
That's smart. I mean, I think as a glass artist, you have a little bit of an edge in that your stuff, your work can still be practically used. People need glasses, they need bowls, they will like decorative pieces for their home. People don't need my paintings.
And there's no supplier of that in the Texas art market of
Okay.
just the barware and the cups.
Yeah.
There's a lot out in North Carolina, Corning, New York, and like Seattle has a lot of glass art where you can get a lot of cups.
Right.
But in Texas, I'm one of the only local producers of finely designed glass product,
That's cool.
which is it's nice to occupy that
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah. It's a real blessing. Quick pause, friends. Just want to let you know that the show is growing, the audience is growing, and as I build episodes, I'm also looking for sponsorship opportunities. So if you are an interested sponsor or you know someone who may be interested in sponsoring the show, please reach out to me at jeff@jefflungart.com and we'll see how we can partner together. Now back to the show. So this is also a school or of sorts, right? An educational stomping ground where you can come here, the Houston House of Glass, and you can learn how to blow glass. And
I have a few people who produce work that we didn't teach them that class, like how to make bird sculptures, or she's also making slugs. She's one of my favorite proof of concept. She met me at my booth and asked about classes. She took enough classes to then master the basics, and now she's doing things that we didn't even teach her how to do.
Cool.
Which I'm proud of.
That's awesome. So, I think for any teacher, that's one of your prouder moments when you see one of your students kind of go on and do their own thing. And
she's usually giving a demonstration at my open house now. So I'll be over here blowing a bubble and she'll be over there sculpting a bird.
Cool, cool. I like that. So let's talk a little bit about so I remember we did you remember the BAM market?
Yeah.
I mean, the big ass market. That it was an indoor thing in August. It was cool. And it was one of those days where it was just slow for me. Lots of people. Luckily, at the end of the day, I had a couple sales that made it worthwhile. But you were kitty corner for me, and just all day long there were people coming through your booth. And that was the first time I really noticed you. It was a few years ago. And then ever since then, I've seen you at other shows. And what do you think it is about glass? I mean, your glass in particular, but what is it about glass that people love so much? We're drawn to it. What is it?
You know, people seeing the Netflix show have the connection that like this was a spinning object with fire gleaming through it at one point. And some people can connect that dot, and their imagination when they see a booth of glass is to see me blowing it, and they can actually put that together. I think that has to do with it. It's got this transparent quality where it hijacks color, and I give this spiel all the time in my booth. I'm like, look, I can make this shape in wood, in ceramic, in a bunch of different material, but only in glass can you see through it, and use transparency as one of your aesthetic building blocks. And so glass does have this special opportunity with just the color and transparency where no other material but plastic maybe, or like acrylics can do, resin maybe, but none of those are quite as archival and historically delivered as glass.
Right.
So yeah, it's a special material.
Are you always kind of scanning for different designs? And
yeah, pretty constantly. If you just design and look for designs in the glass world, your glass will look like everybody else's. So I really pull from my background with my mother's side of the family being quilters, and I pull from woodworking textures. Ceramics has this wealth of texturing and a history of a practice of texturing and carving the surfaces that I have used in my work really regularly.
Right on. So the quilting, so that you were talking about the quilt glass sculpture. So you just mentioned your mother was a quilter. Is that where you were introduced to the arts in general, or what's your evolution of becoming? How does one become a glass artist? You just wake up one day and be like, hey, you know what?
So my earliest like iteration in art was, or exploration kind of stuff was probably just through a prolific amount of arts and crafts as a kid. With a bunch of, I'm the third of 4 children, and my mother would always give us craft projects and doing it with grandma stuff, you know, like just busy for the kids kind of stuff. But then middle school, I started to take a few art classes. I grew up with a mother who was a quilter and a cake maker. She'd make wedding cakes and specialty birthday cakes. And so she was always making stuff and supplying it to different clientele. And then I think I was just the art kid in high school. I played a lot of soccer. And then
soccer and art.
That's like all I did
combo.
through all of high school. I took, you know, nothing but soccer and then 7 different art classes in 4 years at high school.
Cool.
So one year was 3 art classes in 1 year. So half of the day I was in the art department.
Nice.
Ceramics and painting, a sculpture class. I was lucky to have a high school that had intro to anything you wanted to do, even a dark room. I never took that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But so high school allowed me to tap into it pretty heavily. And I always just kind of was the kid making things. I never like said I'm an artist, but I definitely was the kid with clay all over his
Getting dirty.
Yeah, and then would go play a bunch of soccer and then disappear. But so
What was the first time that you walked into or had the opportunity to blow glass? When did that arrive?
So then I got to U of H. I was in their art education curriculum. I thought I'd be an art teacher. At 19, I was trying to get a degree that lined up with something that I wanted to do. So I decided to do art education at University of Houston. And Lotus Bermudez, the instructor there at the time, pointed me towards glass blowing. She pretty directly said, "You're not interested in ceramics right now, Eric, go." And she handed me a pamphlet to my first glass blowing class, which I then took at 19 years old. And I took a week-long glass blowing class that summer. And that was my intro to glass. So it's through, like, I was in art my whole life. I got out of it for like 2 years, trying to do something else in college. And then got back into the arts, and it led me directly to glass blowing at 19. And my whole, ever since, I'm 36 now, and everything has been about getting the skills to get good at glass, to maintain equipment for glass, or build it, and then run the shop.
Right on.
And running the business part of it is like the newest skill set.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, you probably spent a lot of time doing that, more time than you would expect in the beginning, right? Have you become pretty good? You mentioned earlier before we started shooting, you told me you were into welding and stuff. You also become a fix-it kind of guy? You got all these heavy machinery around, those furnaces, like, it's not like you can just call somebody up and be like, hey.
And I don't have a technician, working here. It's
all
just me and my dog.
Yeah.
So I replace all the elements. If anything electrical goes bad, the floor to this unit will like blow out. I'm the one. There's refractory over there. There's castable over here. That's all a wood and metal shop over there that can unfold. And this was not a glass studio at first. It was a wood and a metal studio that built a glass studio.
Oh, okay.
And then the wood and metal shop condensed down, and now it's a glass shop.
So you were doing wood and metal work before this as a business?
Not as a business, but as as an employee to other businesses. I built cabins in Alaska one summer, so woodworking from chainsaw work to finishing, and carpentry kind of vibes. I was never the lead on anything, but I've assisted some master craftspeople in other materials.
Okay. Cool.
A dear friend of mine, a Houston artist legend, George Sakaris, builds massive metal sculpture and custom metal staircases. I helped him for a season chain block all this stuff into and do all the. He would hand me a cut list of the material to cut, and I would help him fabricate his awesome projects.
Okay.
But so I've taken work. My art education background has, I've built makerspace from a startup, and then we've had to not only develop the curriculum on how to teach ceramics, woodworking, and metal, but I've had to build the ceramics, woodworking, and metal shops too, to then teach out of. And it's all been very interesting to me and very full circle and enabling to do it all. So, and I've done it all just so I could do glass.
Yeah.
And cut myself off now from taking those other jobs so that I can work for myself. And it's been a big investment, and there's been seasons where it's been tight, but now the work is starting to get recognition and take off, and I have a large inventory now to start just purging and selling to the masses. So
that's cool.
Blah, blah, blah.
I love it. I love seeing artists succeed in what they're passionate about, and knowing that it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen, like, no one handed it to you. You've been working hard. Like, you could tell that you're somebody who, at least I feel like you're somebody who needs to be working. We needs to be busy making stuff.
I don't take a day off. I get a day off, and I'm back in here doing a third project that I just came up with.
But your project's something you like. You love it. It's your passion, right?
I often am telling people I'm not working. I'm just sitting in my studio arranging color schemes.
Exactly.
It's a celebration of the material. But yes, like if you're trying to go out on a date with me, it definitely looks like I'm working at the studio instead of paying attention to you.
Right.
So I do have to focus.
Yeah,
sometimes.
right. Just for the record, I'm not trying to go on a date with you.
No,
Just
anytime.
kidding. Right. Well, you also have your trusted Kahlo around here. We'll have to show a picture of him later too.
Yeah,
he was a very friendly attendant when I came in. He was
I have a
like,
shop
"Hey, what's
dog
up?"
who's the best part of the whole studio.
Yeah, keeping you company. That's cool. I have to ask you, because it's glass, and I don't know much about glass, and most people don't either. We know one name, Chihuly, right?
Chihuly,
How many times do people come in and say, "Oh, this reminds me of Chihuly"?
You know, it comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's like blown away. You know, there's all these hot topic terms, and none of them are bad. I think that, like, if my work looked exactly like Chihuly's, it might be kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
I have my own stylings, and it's really just an awesome talking point to connect to customers, because I like talking to my customers. I've noticed other artists, it's not that they don't like it, or their just personality isn't about talking to hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I can do it over a weekend's worth of opportunities. And I'll talk to children, and I'll talk to this. So when somebody comes in and says they saw the Chihuly exhibit, I know to ask, where were they? Because he's been all over the world. It could have been in Pittsburgh or Seattle or Dallas.
Right.
And so it's a great talking point, just like Blown Away is, for me to ask them about their experience with glass.
Yeah.
And now I'm adding to that. I'll definitely like cut it off and try to segue the
To your
conversation
stuff.
to
Yeah.
me.
Of course.
But that's also part of my business tactic is I'm not trying to sell you glass. I'm trying to connect with you. And that's why you usually see so many people in my booth.
Yeah.
Is because I will talk to anybody, and I'm not trying to sell you glass. I am talking about my glass, but they don't choose to buy glass. They choose to support an artist.
Amen. Yeah.
And I happen to be a very talkative person who can talk to you, and you can choose to support me. That happens to sell really nice glass.
Right. Yeah. I like that.
And you're gonna be happy with me and happy with the product that you leave with.
Yeah.
But they're choosing to support me, and that's why I talk to kids who come in. I hand cards to children, and I will talk to you if you're a pretty girl, an old lady, whatever, like a dude coming in just wanting to sweat on stuff. I will sweat on it with you, and we will talk about it until you leave. But not once do I usually like try to push the sale.
Yeah.
The sales will happen if the connection is there, and if my glass product is good. That definitely helps.
For sure, and it is, and that is a great bit of advice for all artists out there, especially if you're doing the festival market scene and you're trying to sell, is to just make connections with people, right? And if there's one famous artist that everybody's heard of, that's the door that you can enter through. Go through it, right?
And we can talk about Chihuly for a couple seconds. I will cut it off. If you're going to talk about Chihuly for 10 minutes in my booth, I'll be like,
right?
Who's next? Yeah. But
Awesome.
No.
Well, that's cool. I dig that. You can find your work, you can find your portfolio on your website, ericdepan.com, also at the houstonhouseofglass.com. So we'll put all that information up here.
Thank you. I have
two websites, two Instagram accounts. You can follow them at DePan the Man, right?
On Instagram.
And that's on Instagram. And then the other Instagram is Houston House of Glass. So you can find you there. Correct. Cool videos up there too, so you can see a lot of the glass blowing, the process, the teamwork that goes with it.
And we do an open house here once a month, not in the summer. So once first Saturday starts rolling, actually I'm hoping to invite everybody.
Amen. Well, that's right. So you also find Eric at the First Saturday Arts Market, which is September through May on West 19th Street. We'll put the info up here too.
Correct.
Shout out to Mitch, of course, and our man.
Art Ballet.
And also, if you just follow Eric, on all the socials. You'll find out your show listings because I know you travel a lot. You do a lot. You Arttober. You did the Woodlands Waterway,
Cottonwood
Bayou,
and
Cottonwood.
Main Street in Dallas.
Amen,
I'm
yeah.
trying to do the big boy shows, but let me
Artworth.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I
did-
saw that.
mhm.
Cool. Yeah, so you're getting around. Go find his stuff. But before we go, Eric, we have to do the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right.
Can't wait.
So these are quick questions, quick answers. Don't
can't
think too
quit.
much. We just want to get a little insight into your personality, maybe behind the glass.
Can't
all
wait.
right. Okay. So the first one is coffee or tea,
Coffee.
red or blue.
Both.
Ah, both.
Purple.
Purple, there we go. So I forgot to mention both is not an answer. But it's okay. We'll take purple. We'll take purple for now. What up, Kahlo? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Okay. Forest or beach?
Forest.
Forest, all right. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. Plan or no plan?
No plan.
No plan,
Yeah,
all
no
right.
plan.
Okay.
I plan in no plan. Like if
Okay.
I'm traveling, I'll have like one thing every 3 days that I need to do but then
Okay.
I will plan to not plan for 2 days.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. How about city block or country road?
City block these days.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a city boy right
Yeah.
now.
By the way, finding your place here is quite
It is
an
an
adventure through the city.
Industrial complex of
yeah.
zoos. And,
I was telling you earlier, it reminded me of like the Batman villain meets Blade Runner world. Like, it's cool. It's not scary, but it
can get scary.
come during the daytime. Okay, early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Spend all day listening to Philip Glass or Ira Glass?
I don't know who either of those people
Okay. All right, that's all right. Philip Glass is a famous composer.
are. Okay, probably.
He
him.
does minimalist music.
Okay, I'm gonna get on that rabbit hole.
Yeah, you go find him. And then
Philip-
Ira Glass is the famous NPR guy. He does This American Life.
Okay.
All right.
No, Philip Glass.
That's all right.
Minimalist.
That's the only Glass tie-in I could find because I already used my Chihuly card. So,
Sit. Show him how to sit.
all right. How about this one? Beer, wine, or shots?
Tequila.
All right.
Yeah.
Shots. Little side. Tequila makes me want to fight. So,
Makes me happy.
okay. Everybody's different, right? How about long walk or long drive?
Drive.
All right. Create with music or no music?
I don't know how to move without music. I
Okay.
have a music for every theme of what I'm making.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, if I'm making really fancy Italian pieces, we listen to Italian opera.
Oh, nice.
If we're making Christmas ornaments, we listen to Black Sabbath.
Awesome.
So like metal or Slayer
Right on.
for Christmas.
Slayer, right
Yeah. So every task and production item kind of has music that coordinates with it.
Okay. You just pump it up real loud so you can hear it because you got things blowing
Yeah,
in here, right?
and we're like speaking very loud at each
Okay.
other. It sounds like we're yelling, but
Cool.
we're just like talking above everything.
Right on.
And yeah, we work exclusively with music.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. How about trust your eye or trust your gut?
I
Eye.
trust my
All right. Museum quality or street level energy?
eye. Museum, baby.
All
Yeah,
right.
fake it till you make
All
it.
right, that's right. I can see you there. You're already in museums?
I've been getting into. I've had a solo show at the Rockport Art Center,
Awesome.
which is a museum on the coastal
Okay.
stretch.
Cool.
And I have another opening at the down in Allen at the Allen Art College is going to have a gallery, not
Okay.
quite a museum.
Okay.
So I've been
Right
working
on.
my way from galleries and
Yeah,
I'll be
and I've
the
seen you in
museum
some galleries.
someday.
So at the Ardest Gallery, you
Yeah,
had some pieces there?
they've been
yeah?
awesome. Artists
Yeah.
in the Woodlands.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so museum all the way. Last one. Art that whispers or art that shouts?
Whispers. I like subtlety and technique that's composed enough to not punch you in the eye, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think all your work is, like I said, the word that comes to mind is finesse. Even in the practical stuff, the coloring, the patterns that you have is is very technically sound and looks beautiful, you know.
Thanks.
It's good.
I love them. I have a lot of experiments that stay here and nobody sees.
Right on.
So you only see the good stuff at the market.
Well, good.
But thank you for noticing.
Yeah. Right on. And those other things will make their way.
Yeah,
when they're ready.
they're at my open house. You can
Okay.
buy a lot of my weird pieces.
Okay.
That are like, where was Eric's finesse that day?
Clunky, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're available half price sometimes at my
Cool.
open house.
Awesome. And you can find out about those open houses again by following the Instagram
Houston House of Glass.
Houston House of Glass.
Yeah.
And check them out, their website, sign up for the newsletter, find out about all that's going on here. Brother, thank you very much for having me, Eric.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Eric DePan, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.